Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host from Pearl Lane, the one, the only Master Propaganda Heroes like Defender of the Fun and off here to 1v1 on, yes, it's not Road to Tunis or Twin Beaches, it's Taranto Coastline, the #1 map almost every competitive player in Communist League currently does not like playing on. But we also got the DAK, the Deutsches Afrika Corps, here with Finndeed, Finnest of Deeds, Finland's finest. In the north it is Orangepest, most orange of pests, fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Pushing ahead here with the 1st Infantry Division versus here we got the 3rd Panzergun Division. We got a cartridge snap here for Finndeed right off the bat. We got also Italian Combined Arms opening up here support from nearby Italian units to support here the 3rd Panzergun Division, probably provide the mainstay of the infantry elements and some recent nerfs, as I mentioned in yesterday's video. We also point out I didn't have enough DAK matches than I do. Has rather seen a bit of sharp drop-off in just Panzer Grenadier usage. So, Bersaglieri are becoming a lot more popular because they're only just a bit more expensive, but they do perform better as mainline infantry currently. So we got the Bersaglieri moving up west side here. Cartridge covering up as well there. Panzer Pioneer east was there. Sandbags barbed wire here. Rifle squad catches there, but they get caught in a turn here by the Panzer Pioneer with their Carnot TK bolt action rifles. Moving up further west to see with the Kartschützen. Look, yeah, 2nd Bersaglieri unit out here for Finndeed. Das Vaterland. So, some light skirmishes so far here. We also got special operations chosen here for Orangepest with the M29 Diesel recon vehicle out there. Straight ahead with the Panzer Pioneer right into a 30 cal there. The results, unsurprisingly, not so good there for Helmut, as he takes the face full of it and proceeds to drop dead. North here, Pathfinder the Scout Squad here on the northern munitions point. Some support from the Bersaglieri, of course, could quickly turn that in favour of Finndeed rapidly. There you go, rushing in with those Bersaglieri with their Carcano bolt action rifles, which fired lower caliber rounds than most other armies did. That's a fun side note there. It did technically mean, while of course all the rifles were less powerful, you may need like more shots, they were also easy to handle and train on. So that's sort of one of those things that's always worth keeping in mind there. But that said, they actually had planned to go for a rifle with bigger rounds. I think something close to an 8mm round, but ultimately logistical issues and the fact that he insisted on both using that round and the other sort of 6.5mm round basically, caused that to get scrapped. So, yeah, this is one of those fun stories there. So there you go, another engagement up here by the northeastern victory point here. Bersaglieri backed up the cartridge and trying to flank round here. Orangepest northern flank, but Orangepest, of course, is having none of that here. Rifle squad, they're pushing back. Bersaglieri is trying to cross up through the center here. In the southeast, we got the Panzer Pioneer, they're busy digging in. 3rd Bersaglieri squad out there. Of course, also worth noting is they made the Caro Amato M1340 light tank easier to get. So that's really been another reason more players are starting to go for this battle group, is like, you get easy access to that tank. And it's fairly spammable, so there's definitely been a shift in the metagame towards that as well there. I would not be surprised if they nix that particular change back. Anyways, further fighting here. Rifle force back there, leaning behind Carl and Joe in the middle of the road. I'm sorry, Carl. I didn't mean for it to end like this. North here, Ralph's got pushing for that northern munitions point here. Cartridge in there fixed up. We've also got a quick Schützen minus 45 down. Sort of scouts, they just push back. That's the Italian Bersaglieri push forwards there. We got the light support company up there, or Leites und Stützens Company, Unterstützung Company. Ralph's got moving forwards there. Skirmishing there. Of course, have to see what Finndeed decides to go for. Will he focus more on the Bersaglieri, in which case we'd already know, yeah, Bolsa, they actually made that one more accessible, but on the other hand made the Breda one a bit tougher. So that does help also the Bersaglieri scale up a bit better faster, which is probably also another reason this one's seeing a bit more usage. Yep. Bersaglieri bolster. The rest of the forces have caught up. It was a scene for the Italians. Last squad taking on losses here. We got healing going on nearby here, so Guessing that's the Weasel doing that. Or was there something else? I can't quite remember. Als je later rushing westwards here, backed up by the Panzerpionier with their Flammenwerfer 35. Back at base here, Finndeed of course could push straight for the Mechanized Company. He could also upgrade here, maybe plan to rush up Panzer 3s. In this regard, the Deutsche Afrika Corps does have some interesting choices here in terms of, like, you know, taking orders and build orders you can commit to. A bit like the Wehrmacht, for example. Pretty much all the factions do have these sort of interesting decisions you can make in terms of, like, tech parts here. We do get the MD-34. More popular alongside most machine guns. After machine guns overall just got of like 25% buff to suppression, and surprisingly that made most machine guns a lot more you know, attractive. North Iraq squad caught the cartridge and the Basilleri. Panzer Pioneer they're reinforcing. No Opel Blitz ambulance here yet for Finndeed. So far, the Orangepest been taking pretty good map control here versus Finndeed, pushing him back slowly, gaining some minor engagements here and there. Could see a Panzerjäger mechanized group or the Assault mechanized group. Panzerjägers also got nerfed a bit. Both they lost one guy, so now they're just under a 4-man team. But also they lost some accuracy at range. East side here though, mine goes off. Not sure who suffered the wrath of that. Scouts caught here though by the 250 Leichtschützenpanzerwagen. Smoke deployed. Also means Orangepest actually researched it. Pathfinders meanwhile get that for free. There you go, rushing forwards here with the Leichtschützenpanzerwagen. Typically part of a Panzer Division's reconnaissance unit. And typically though they would basically just be used like, you know, mechanized infantry as well. Like, they were technically meant to support the armored cars in the division, but a lot of the time they just served as more mechanized infantry, as those were pretty much like in very, very high demand. Anti-aircraft attack here for Orangepest. The M16 straight into the anti-tank rifles here. Quite a few shots there, doing a fair amount of damage to that one. SED hiding out here behind the trees. And we got the MD-34 team here, basically in the south. Rifle squad pushing forward, got the 2 Basilleri squads and the Panzerjägers here. Big clash about to happen here between them. 3 full squads here, not looking like great engagement for Finndeed. Particularly doesn't have access to the Modello 35, their grenade. Oh, double grenade here plus the Weasel. And Finndeed is not retreating. I was about to say, he must have been distracted or something. Oh, look, a butterfly. Probably not that. Flares as well there. Good bit of reconnaissance there from Orangepest. Thumbs up. In this case, of course, tells them, you know, straight ahead there's a German machine gun team looking to do bad things. Bob there loses his life there to a mine. After, of course, there was some repairs. Panzerjägers could, of course, do reinforcements. Nothing further here, though, from Finndeed back in his base, of course. He does have a lot of men in need of reinforcements. Cartridge moving forwards there. Veterans 1 opening up for the tracer marking. Orangepest keeping up, got momentum with his riflemen. And also rushing for the northern victory point. Again, if you can sort of get up a good victory point bleed, you can A, you know, catch up with Finndeed, but also crucially, you know, pressure Finndeed into like getting more aggressive as well there. I do think that's one of those interesting elements here with, you know, the increase in victory point takedown. I know it's not for everyone, but personally I do think it does create some more interesting scenarios from time to time. Whereas in Skirmishes you could really get out some really dragged out fights just because the victory points were ticking down fairly slowly. Like an obese cat on a treadmill. No, Mr. Topsy, you have to lose weight or you will die of coronary. Ah, Mr. Topsy, I love you so. Anyways. Rifle squad holding up here at northern field point. Marked there by the Kartschützen, making them easy to hit. It's a very nice little upgrade there, and I actually do like that. Bit of a shame they nerfed the Kartschützen, but in terms of build time there, go and take up rushing 40, and we got the M375 motor gun carriage here, which is, I think that was also like the first like, real tank destroyer the United States Army operated. Was actually basically a half track with an anti-tank gun mounted on it. Fun fact there. Fun fact. Actually, there was a 57mm gun, not the 75mm gun. Though they did have one of the 75mm as well there. But yeah, those were some of their first tank destroyers as they sort of realised, hang on, we need those. But once they sort of got the M10 and all that, they basically took all the ones they had and shipped them off to the Soviets, who used them like until, I think, actually the Battle of Berlin. They still saw service those half-track tank destroyers in Soviet service. So, little fun fact there, little fun fact. They also, by the way, did receive a bit of buff here. Those half-tracks are the anti-tank one. Bit of extra accuracy at the longer ranges. Also worth noting, they do as much damage as like any other tank destroyer. They do, 160 damage, so they're actually worth investing into now a bit there, though of course you still need to be mindful of how you position them, but if you do so smartly, they can provide some nice anti-tank assets. After setting up again, cartridges in there of course need repairs. Panzer need commands, yeah, he went for fire support elements and then straight into that. One of those common elements to do there. If you're not going to go for Achterarch or anything like that, you just try and skip ahead and push for those fast Panzer 3s. Got the anti-tank half to get blasting away. You can easily see caught laying down a mine here by Finndeed's mighty Basilieri. And you've had 14 that actually took a bit of a nasty hit there from it. And up north here going straight for that weasel. Sucking sis egg? Haha. I don't think they speak German. Ah, Scheiße, I was being funny or no? Yeah, well, the Americans, they're not very good at funny. Unlike us Germans, who are famous for being funny. Yeah, it's so funny and amusing. Drive squad moving forward here, half-track running a bit about north here. So, could be the Breda Modelo 30 here, could be the Sommerventa, and then it's like, the Caro Armato M1340. That said, considering, he went pretty hard for the Panzer III Model L, there's definitely a part of me suspects he's not going to go for Italian tanks at that stage. I mean, he could still do it, and I honestly don't think it'd be a bad idea, but, if you're going that hard for, the Panzerarmee Commando, you're probably wanting German engineering rather than Italian. It's like if basically setting up like a big fat German restaurant, and you're probably not gonna go to Italian. Got the Breda Modelo 30 there. Immediate upgraded to the men, and they can be equipped with 2. In fact, Italian infantry squads were actually fairly lavishly equipped with the Breda Modelo 30, which I suppose was good because it wasn't very good itself as a light machine gun. Particularly in North Africa, the desert environment, it really struggled with all the sand and would foul up very quickly. There you go, Panzer III Model L here for Finndeed. Anti-active rushing forwards here. A fairly mechanized approach here from Orangepest. Particularly the M16 has really become more popular once people realize, hang on, this thing is good and cheap. Yeah, the other one is definitely not quite as common, but I could see that catching on more, partly because of the buff, but also I think partly people realizing, hang on, it's cheap, but pretty much does the same damage as, say, a Marder in like other tank destroyer there. Got the half-track here, knocked out, and the Panzerjägers are about to get absolutely executed in North Korean style. Yep. But we got the Panzer III ready here for Finndeed and the German army. All victory point on control here is Orangepest, definitely a problem there for Finndeed. Das Vaterland. Well, happens he's going to equip more of his men with additional Bredas. Yes, at least one squad has been equipped with an extra Breda 30. Pantry rushing northwards. Cartridge and up north here. Engineers caught laying down mines here. Could get knocked out. Police forced to recant their sins of laying down mines before German Panzerwaffe. Wow, the Panzer III missed twice in a row. Half-track shoots, misses as well there. But there you go, we got the SSF commandos unloading a full volley of bazooka fire into the front of the Panzer III there. North here, Panzer Pioneer versus the RAF squad there. Got a bit of suppressive fire there, at least pour it on them. Ambulance for Finndeed. North here, Panzer Pioneer versus the RAF squad.
300 points remaining. Say again, 300 points remaining.
Charging in here, quick Modelo 35 grenade, aka the Red Devil. After going in there as well. Orangepest really giving Finndeed a hard time. Despite getting out that Panzer III relatively fast, he hasn't quite been able to leverage. And there you go, the Panzer Pioneers bit the bullet. This is actually a problem here for Finndeed, because he has no other way of repairing his tanks. You know, there's a Yeti, they're great for running and all that, but they don't exactly make for great mechanics. So yeah, Finndeed, they're of course forced to devote ton of manpower towards another unit. They're up north, Cartridge and caught with the half-tech. Quick sneaky kill here. Assassination there on Finndeed's Cartridge, but there you go, Panther goes for the kill here, and there you go. Knocks out the anti-aircraft. There you go. Finndeed though is not done here. Oh, Orangepest, I mean, is not done here. His half-tech moves in, but there you go. Panther scores a good hill here. Can Orangepest get the half-tech to safety here? Looks like he is nearly able to hold it out of there. And there you go. Mines further flight support there. We also got 8 extra bazooka team out here for Orangepest and a sniper. Good golly. The sudden explosion and weapon support center units here. Bazooka team, they've been caught unknown by the Breda wielding Bessayeri, but there you go, a counterattack here from Orangepest infantry reserves sent running, and there it goes straight to mine. Holy smokes! That mine, that's like 5 Bessayeri dead for 30 munitions on retreat. He's definitely gonna need mine sweepers, not just for shooting the mines, but also for increasing the repair speed, and we got a assault grenadier squad out here, and the half-tech, which boy got buffed with the recent patch as well. There they do extra damage. In fact, most SMD units actually got a buff there, except of course for the British sappers, who honestly need a nerf, but also the German assault grenadiers didn't get a buff because they really shouldn't get that. But yeah, assault grenadiers, the Gurkhas with the Thompsons, the commandos, the foot guards. A lot of mines though, really. These mines have just been devastating, and obviously in return also just an amazing investment here for Orangepest. Really highlighting that, you know, mines win wars. As opposed to, you know, try and cliche there, the whole Fallout line. Mines never change.
What do you need?
Yeah, poor job. Anyways, yeah, we got the summer event there. Could of course me to go for this. You could also go for the strafing run. Panther the round Ralph squad up here. He could soon also go for another Panther 3. That wouldn't be a bad idea either, though. He definitely needs to be mindful of all these infantry losses. He's definitely starting to bleed a bit, and they're also just really taking the sting out of a lot of his attacks. I mean, that half-track push there got completely just bolted over there by, you know, running straight into a mine there. Got the soldiers pushing eastwards here with their MP40s. That said, in North Africa, they did also like making use of the Italian Beretta M38 submachine gun if they could get their hands on it, as that wasn't very excellent submachine. While the Italians didn't make great lot of machine guns, they did make amazing submachine guns. But they would also, of course, make use of, you know, whatever they get their hands on, like, you know, Sten guns were also fairly popular with German troops. And Thompsons. Yeah. If you need him in, good push here. You can see the briefly Orangepest was forced off the field. So you can either go for Pact of Steel, or you can go for the artillery cover. The artillery cover, though, is probably the weakest of all the artillery call-ins, and I'm not saying that just because, like, the others are utterly busted. It's actually just... it really doesn't do anything. I tried it once, and I very much regretted it. And not in the way that, oh dear, this is just busted. I feel sorry for my opponent, but just, well, wow, this does nothing. Way. Sniper that keeps bleeding away at the Italians. MD 34 setting up. Your squad there's going to try and pop a grenade. Oh, they actually popped. Oh, they're popping out the MD 34 tube here. In the south here, we do have a Sherman Art here for Orangepest. Flames calling in the assault grenadiers are very much forced to conduct a retrograde assault towards their own base. And I mean, at this point, Orangepest Finndeed, really needs more Panzer 3s here. It absolutely needs more Panzerkampfwagens. Of course, happy to see if he goes for it, but he definitely needs more armor. Still, since he can't go for the Italian tanks now, anyways. It's not like you could just say quickly, like, fill up the gaps with, you know, Italian 3040s. He could, I suppose, go for the Semovente, but...
we have command points available to us.
Yeah, it's not good in game. And the actual war actually was kind of decent. Of course, they would still like make upgraded version of the Semovente. Also, these especially they actually have a flamethrower. Quick pineapple grenade there. And far, far south here, we got the Panther popping about here, close to Vetini 2. I don't think he's gone for any upgrades whatsoever. He's actually starting to like have a lot of fuel floating about here. Like destructing manpower wise. He partly again due to some, I think, heavily focused on engagements there. But, you know, the sniper's probably also playing a whole role in that, you know, lacking manpower element here for Finndeed. So does Techno, I think, have a reasonably formidable assault force. Also, the mines, of course. Those mines really just did a number on Finndeed. Absolutely horrendous number.
My crew are ready.
Quiet here. As both sides lining up, we got the assault of Bazayer heading southwards here. Panther fleet just utterly wrecking some poor fellows. Shed, I don't know, storehouse. I'm not sure how to describe that. Makes a very satisfying noise though. Again, I don't think the owner would feel much comfort in that.
Our territory is in enemy hands.
I'm sure you said a bit about your garage, but it sounded really nice when the Germans destroyed it. You know, don't think that's going to be much comfort to anyone. Got the assault catching squad here by the northern munitions point. Moving in with MP40s, wrapping up close. They just forced to retreat to low and healthy in the south German. And Sniper, they're quickly holding here. Finndeed's southern push for the victory point there. Route squad mule technique losses from the Bassier further south. Now the Panther fleet there for Finndeed finally. More fierce until for up north here. From the half track there. Second Panther fleet almost done, that said. He would also benefit from upgrades. I mean, vehicle survival package is really, really good. Not just because it unlocks smoke, but also it provides extra health. Plus, of course, the military repair kits. It's actually partly why I think the Oberkommers, or the DAK, and Oberkommers, there's some bad habits there, but no, the DAK really has some late game power. Is some of these upgrades really just means your Panther fleets become much better than actual Panther fleets ever had hope of being. There you go. Half track. I think they took a shot at the Panther 3. Second Panther fleet supporting us on the push here. We got machine guns. We got the Sherman. We got bazooka teams, and of course we got Ralph squad here up north here. Secondary engagement there, sort of a bit back and forth here. Panther fleet is being pushed back here, I imagine, by the half track. Solid space by the northern field point. A lot of stuff happening here across the map there. A lot of stuff. Quick grenade here, assault grenades. Oh, they run straight into it. Ugh. Bad news there. Yeah, certainly the trick to engage in this map is like, you know, trying to manage partly just, you know, how you maneuver. Because the map definitely can be difficult to read due to the way the elevation, but it's all the trees and the hills sort of like, you know, just can at times make the map very difficult to like get a good read on, and sometimes units take a completely different path than you actually expect it to because of that. I think it's one of those reasons why a lot of people don't like it. There's the other element, which is just some parts that actually favors the southern player. In that sense, it has a bit of Road to Kaka over it, which is really never a good comparison. Plus, there's the fact like there's just this small amount of space between the two bases. Yeah. Sniper lands a good hit here, closing in the Metithi on that one. That's a Yeti moving up in the flank here, catching the scouts. Honestly, at this point, I'm not entirely sure to have gone for a Pack 38. The Pack 38 is a nice inclusion, but rather he may actually wanted to go for the light infantry Geschütz. Act 10 for some artillery support here, to that way they deploy smoke and just slam into Orangepest positions here at the other end of the field. That's not to say the Pack 38 necessarily is a bad choice, but I'm not entirely sure if it's really, you know, what he needed. As of course he just wanted, you know, topless German troopers. I think he's checking for mines there. Sound like it. Or he's looking to wreck something with the bazookas. Hard to say there with Orangepest. Looks like Finndeed is lining up for assault here. We got the half track for the soldiers. We got the Panther fleet lining up here. We got troops like, yeah, I think he's lining up for a big assault here. He's also gone for the artillery cover. Not that he's got enough munitions for anything anyways, but it definitely feels like an assault here. But again, this is where, you know, light infantry gun would be a very good investment. So yeah, he's going to launch like a two-pronged attack, I think. Has Bazooka team here. Rushing in there from one side. Grenade off. SSF commands on the right. Caught the sniper here. Half-tech knocked out. Sniper escaped because he's not paying attention. We've got the machine gun opening up here. We've got Panther moving up here. Panther 3. Bazier attacking from another angle as well there. Getting rather messy here. Panther attacking again. We got the Bazooka team push back. Really good push up of Finndeed here. Really good push. I believe he was trying to test out the SSF Commander's demo chart. He was apparently having some issues there with it, by the way. 58 points left for Finndeed. Air support called in. Catch here. Nothing at all. Half-tech bombarding. Veterans 1 now, by the way. Bombarding here, trying to hit that Pack 38. Orangepest like just doesn't quite seem to hold through here. Pack 38 blasts, misses. Punspinier dodging out the smoke. Commanders and Ralph Squad pushing 40 Basida pointing to the neighbor building. Oh, looking the entire area here. And there you go. We got an M18 Hellcat tank destroyer flanking the 2 Panther 3s here. That said, it is 1 tank destroyer versus 2 tanks. Nice shots here. Half-tech rushing through the central, going for the Panther 3s as well. He misses with the Hellcat, does not miss with the half-tech. We're taking a lot of damage as it is ultimately just a half-tech and is not known for its great armor-piercing absorbing abilities. Quite the opposite. Panther 3s backing off. 1 victory 2, by the way. Very nice there. But there you go. Orangepest keeps at the assault here, sensing a chance to take out the German tanks. And there you go. 7.6 Sherman upgrade here. Gonna go for those Panther 3s. Aim's gonna clear out the Pack 38 here. There you go. 1 Panther 3 down, knocked out by the combo of the 7.6 Sherman and the Bazooka teams. Bazooka assault is moving up here. But yeah, another Panther 3 knocked out. A huge blow here to Finndeed. An excellent win there for Orangepest. And this point, Orangepest does feel very much ascendant. Whatever parity between the two sides, I think, has rather, you know, gone sideways. And now Orangepest does feel like he is the dominant one. He has the half-track, he has the Hellcat, he has the Sherman, and Finndeed has got a bunch of Yeti and assault engineers. But crucially, no anti-tank weapons. And he's also very short on victory points, which of course is another problem here for Finndeed. So what will Finndeed try to do here versus Orangepest, and of course what Orangepest will up with? Though I imagine part of what he's going to do right now, at least short term, will be probably repairing all of his tanks and tank destroyers because they are heavily damaged.
Proximity alarm near our capture point.
Scout 2 is the best Yeti. Ground sound point of the rifle squad. Actually, I do have African American troops to mix in with them as well. Not that they actually fought together like that. They were actually operating in segregated units, though apparently they were attempting to like desegregate units during the war. If I'm not entirely mistaken. I may actually be mistaken. I'm not a huge scholar on that particular area, so I could easily get something very wrong. But there you go. GG. Game over, just in case again, like, you know, decides to, like, you know, pop me straight out of the match. There you go. Nice battlefield fight. He got a bit of Deutsches Afrika Korps with a bit of an Italian emphasis. Again, not so much on the Italian armor side. Again, I suspect at least for now that's going to be the more popular side. Still, some nice back and forth here. I do feel like Finndeed again would have benefited from maybe some artillery or some faster Panther 3s, or again being like sneaking out some Italian tanks. There's certainly some things there to look into, and maybe some more mines here and there could also benefit in a bit longer into the game. Orangepest, I think, handled well. The half-techs definitely, I think, proved to be a strong element there, and again, while I think the anti-aircraft half-techs are well known as a good unit, I do think the anti-tank half-tech is shown there also has a bit of merit to be looked into. So I hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, you know, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell enemies. And if you like what I do and wish to support, you can donate on PayPal, you can pledge on Patreon. Of course, a big thanks to my Patreon supporters as well. Or you can just, you know, buy comments if you haven't done that already, by the link in the comments. Use the code STUG3G as it is written there. So thank you all for joining in, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye, everyone.